WPUG Radio presents Maisy and Daisy.
Hello and welcome, everyone. This is Maisy, the Crazy Pug, coming to you on this pugtastic evening on radio station WPUG in beautiful downtown Pugville. I am in Studio A, and Daisy is in Studio B. We have pre-recorded our show because we will be out trunk-or-treating. It's the weekend before Halloween, and there is plenty of activity going on. The grocery store we shop at had children trick-or-treating and decorating cookies. Several of the towns nearby had parades and Halloween festivals this weekend. We even had a spook walk on the nature trail at Old Mill Park that was entitled the 80s Slashback Theme, after 80s classic slasher films. We didn't go because Daddy said it would be too scary for us girls.
I think he really meant it would be too scary for me, Maisy. I do get frightened easily. I hope you don't mind that we don't go to scary events.
Daisy, they wouldn't be any fun if you weren't with me, so I don't mind not going. We still get to have plenty of fun. This week we'll be joining in other activities. Daddy said there's going to be a Halloween parade that we get to be in. There's also going to be a costume contest for us dogs. That should be a lot of fun. We will get to meet some of the other dogs from the area.
That reminds me. We should bring Bones to trunk or treat for any fur pals that come with their humans. I can't wait for everyone to see how we decorated our car. I can't believe that Daddy is letting us bring our car to trunk or treat.
I know it's going to be great. I don't know who started this trunk or treating thing, but I like it. Mommy said her and Daddy used to go door to door at the houses in their neighborhoods getting treats. Back then, people knew their neighbors. Today, that's not the case for a lot of people. Lucky for us kids, they can go to events like trunk or treating and have some Halloween fun. I wonder how and why did people start celebrating Halloween?
I can tell you that, Maisy. They say that the tradition of Halloween actually started with an ancient Celtic festival called Samhain. You might have thought I mispronounced it, but Samhain is a Gaelic word that is spelt nothing like it is pronounced. Samhain is a pagan religious festival from the ancient Celtic times. People back then believed that the barriers between the physical world and the spirit world would break down during Samhain. They believed that ghosts of the dead would return to Earth, so they would light bonfires and wear costumes to ward off the ghost. In the 8th century, Pope Gregory III designated November 1st as a time to honor all saints and incorporated some of the Samhain traditions. The evening before was known as All Hallows Eve, and later as Halloween. Over time, it evolved into a day of activities like trick-or-treating, carving jack-o'-lanterns, festive gatherings, wearing fun costumes, and eating treats. Of course, like anything else, America sure knows how to capitalize on Halloween. Today, us Americans spend an estimate $6 billion annually on Halloween, making it the second largest commercial holiday. Christmas is number one if you wanted to know.
Wow! That is a lot of money to spend for one day out of the year.
Well, it's not just one day. Places like Universal Studios and Busch Gardens celebrate it all month. Daddy used to go to Halloween parties with his friends at the Coast Guard pretty much all month too. A lot of fancy decorations people buy get used year after year. Of course, children outgrow their costumes, but younger siblings get to reuse them. Mommy would reuse costumes by changing the accessories she used. All you need is a black dress and cape, and you can be multiple things depending on the accessories.
I didn't think of that. She was smart. You know, she still has her box of costumes in the garage. Maybe we should go look through it and see if we can find anything to use.
That is a great idea, Maisy.
I have been known to have a good idea every now and then. I have another good idea.
What's that, Maisy?
Let's tell some Halloween jokes. I'll start. Do you know what ghosts eat for supper? Spooketti. How about, what do you do when 50 zombies surround your house? Hope it's Halloween.
That's silly, Maisy. Do you know what you get when you cross a witch with sand? A sandwich! Maisy, do you know when is it bad luck to be followed by a black cat?
Sure. When you're a mouse. Oh, I have a good one for you. What do you get when you cross a cocker spaniel, a poodle, and a ghost? A cocker-poodle-boo. I love it when I can laugh at my own jokes. What room does a ghost not need? A living room. Here's one for you, Daisy. Do you know what is the most important subject a witch learns in school?
Of course I do. It's spelling. I have one more for you. Why do ghosts make good cheerleaders? Because they have a lot of spirit.
That was fun. Now, I have a scary story to tell you. The title is The Skeleton. The boy had been out looking for work all day with no luck. When night fell, he was far from home. He decided to spend the night in an empty, rundown house. The minute he lay down and fell into a sound sleep, the boy was awakened quite suddenly by a thump on the roof. With a pounding heart, he sat up and lit a candle. A voice called out, "I'm falling down!" The boy scrambled out of the way just as a skeletal arm came crashing to the floor. The boy shouted again, "I'm falling down!" And another arm landed beside the first. Then a leg, the chest, and a second leg. Before he could count to 10, a complete skeleton was standing in front of him, grinning madly. The boy lifted his chin and grinned back, determined not to show his fear. The skeleton was delighted by the boy's spirit and said, "You have courage, son. You are brave enough to wrestle me?" The boy was terrified, but he did not dare refuse this strange aberration. The skeleton and the boy wrestled back and forth, up and down the room. Remembering a trick his older brother had taught him, he twisted suddenly and threw the skeleton onto the ground. "You won," the skeleton said. "Such courage deserves a reward. Come, I will give you my treasure." The boy was startled. What kind of treasure could an old skeleton have? "Pick me up and carry me on your back to the next room," said the skeleton. "Remember to take your candle." The boy picked up the skeleton and put it on his back. Then he retrieved his candle from the corner of the room and carried the skeleton into the next room. As they passed through the doorway, the skeleton blew out the candle. "Now stop that," he said, annoyed. The skeleton cackled madly. The boy lit the candle again, and the skeleton blew it out. "I'm going to drop you," the boy threatened. He lit the candle again, and again the skeleton blew it out. The boy dropped the skeleton on the floor. "I will break all your bones," he said. Impressed, the skeleton said, "You are so courageous and strong. I will let you see my treasure." The boy lit the candle and turned to look into the room. It was filled with piles and piles of gold and silver and jewels. "I want you to promise me something," the skeleton said. The boy drew his gaze reluctantly from the magnificent treasure and looked at the skeleton. "I want you to promise me that you will gather all the poor people you can find in one day and give them each a bag of money. The rest you can keep for yourself." It would be a good thing to share his wealth with the needy, the boy decided, so he agreed to do what the skeleton said. The skeleton gave a happy laugh and began to disappear, piece by piece. First his head, then his leg, then his chest, then his other leg, and so on, until he was gone. The boy just did as he promised, and when he had finished his task, he took the rest of the treasure back to his family. They lived in comfort all of their days.
That is a great story, Maisy. I have one to tell you and our listeners. It's a West Virginia ghost story entitled Wait Until Emmett Comes. A preacher was riding to one of the churches on his circuit when darkness fell. It was about to storm, and the only house nearby was an old mansion, which was reputed to be haunted. The preacher clutched his Bible and said, "The Lord will take care of me." He went into the mansion just as the storm broke. He put his horse into the barn and made his way into the house. The door was unlocked. He went into a large room which contained a fireplace that filled one wall. There was wood laid for a fire. He laid a match to it. Then the preacher sat down to read his Bible. Gradually, the fire burnt down to a heap of coals as the storm howled around the mansion. The preacher was roused from his reading by a sound. He looked up from his Bible. A very large black cat was stretching itself. Then it walked to the fire and sat down among the red-hot coals. It picked a coal up in its paw and licked it slowly. The cat got up, shook off the ashes, and walked to the foot of the preacher's chair. It fixed blazing yellow eyes upon him, black tail lashing, and said quietly, "Wait till Emmett comes." The preacher jumped from Genesis to Matthew in shock. He had never heard of a cat talking before. Nervously, he kept reading his Bible, muttering to himself, "The Lord will take care of me." 2 minutes later, another cat came into the room. It was black as midnight and as large as the biggest dog. It lay down among the red-hot coals, lazily batting them with enormous paws. Then it walked over to the other cat and said, "What shall we do with him?" The first cat replied, "We should not do anything until Emmett comes." The two cats, black as midnight, sat watching the preacher, who read through the Gospels at top speed, aware of blazing yellow eyes watching him. A third cat, big as a tiger, entered the room. It went to the fire full of red-hot coals and rolled among them, chewing them and spitting them out. When it came to the other two cats facing the preacher in the chair, "What shall we do with him?" it growled to the others. "We should not do anything until Emmett comes," the other cats replied together. The preacher flipped to Revelation, looking furtively around the room. He closed the Bible and stood up. "Good night, cats. I's glad of your company. But when Emmett comes, you tell him I been here and I went."
That was a good one, Daisy. I sure am enjoying the Halloween season of spooky stories, silly jokes, and fun rhymes we have shared this month. I hope all of our listeners enjoyed them as much as I have.
I bet they did. Well, I think that is all the time we have for today. If you enjoy our program, please be sure to spread the pug love with everyone you meet. You don't have to be a pug to spread some love. If you have any questions you want to ask us, or if there are any topics you want to hear about, or if you have an uplifting story you want to share, please message us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. This is Daisy, best friend and sister of Maisy, the crazy pug, signing off for WPUG Radio. We hope you have enjoyed your time with us.